Hey tribe, welcome into another weekly angel and ancestor message here at Cusp of Roses. I thank you guys so much for tuning in and for being here. If you're new, my name is Gabrielle. Welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. And special shout out to all my channel members tuning into this message early and ad-free. I love you all so very much, and I thank you for all your love and support. The link to join memberships here on the channel for exclusive viewer perks and so much more is down below in the description box or underneath this video if you hit the button join, okay? Okay. In my meditation here for y'all, it felt like there's this like force of love energy, or flow, I should say, well, force. Okay, so Mars could be very significant here. Some of you might have like a Mars in Libra, or Mars could be trining Libra energy here in your chart, or your 7th house. But it feels like there's like this flow of energy that does feel like love, that's trying to bring in some sort of clarity, information, deeper insight, understanding, definitely communication of some sort. So that love frequency can communicate to you in a multitude of ways. You could be seeing spirit animals. You could be having important or very intense or vivid dreams. This information can come through a conversation. You might hear something on TV. It could be in a commercial. It could be through any form of media, okay? But there is like this attention and awareness that the universe is seeking here from some of y'all. Confirmation if you heard that car horn. That you definitely want to pay attention to, okay? Some of you, this loving energy is coming from within. It's just this level of awareness. You might be, your mind might be like wandering to the same thoughts or to the same things, or there's just, again, this deep knowing that you, again, it's pay attention, that you need to pay attention or stay aware around something, okay? It's almost like some of you are going to start getting answers to some prayers you've been putting out. Some of y'all, it's through conversations with others. Like somebody might say something, or again, you overhear something, and it's going to hit your intuition as an answer to something you've been seeking. Kind of like a what are the odds of somebody saying that at that moment, or me hearing that, or that was kind of random from that friend, from that family member, from that coworker, or a child, you know, whomever is around you. This isn't something that you're gonna have to go seek. It's seeking you. Okay, so it's an interesting balance. It's not to like read into every single thing that you hear, but stay in this state of like witnessing. Something about being a witness to your life. We've been channeling that a lot on the membership side of the channel for members reads. So that could be very significant here. There's a need to witness how the world moves around you. Okay? Some of y'all are like, it's like a focus shift that you're having over the next 7 days. So I don't know if that would be a zooming in a little bit more to pay attention to small details, or zooming out so that you see the bigger picture. It could be both. It could be one or the other, depending on where you are right now. Some of you, there's a voice that's telling you within. It's your maybe inner child, your higher self, telling you to do something, to look into something, research something, communicate something, share something, talk about something. I would follow that, okay? Some of you too are slowly being freed from your, how could I say that? From your 3D reality. You okay, Papa? Okay. My puppy's in here too, so he might be making some noises. It's almost like the 3D reality around you is going to start dissolving. And you're, again, maybe that's a part of that zoom in or zoom out. You're going to start seeing things a lot differently. Okay. And it's almost like the moment that you click into the awareness, like, oh yeah, this is changing, or like something feels different, you're going to almost immediately understand why, or that's when this, like, somebody says something to you, or like this communication starts coming in from the universe. Okay. It feels very, very etheric. Okay. So again, it's not for you to seek it out. It's seeking you. Let it find you. You just have to be open to the awareness of it. And that's a challenge for some, for sure. But for those of you that have that mastered, just tap in that way. Okay. All right. Spirit guides, angels, and ancestors. Who's here? Next 7 days. What's this communication all about? Ooh. Grow within your current situation. Wise one. Yeah, it could be an elder that speaks to you. The Knight, be brave and honest. That's that communication. They're holding a sword. Okay. Ignite your passions with the Fire Guardian. Oh yeah, welcome to Aries season, y'all. And happy Astro New Year. I think when you guys, my subscribers, when you see this, there'll be maybe 1 or 2 days left on our Astro New Year sale, which is 25% off, 24% off, excuse me, of all customer astrology, personal readings, reading bundles. Okay. So if you haven't already enjoyed that sale, make sure you check it out. Sale is automatically applied at checkout. Yeah, set your sights higher. Animal guardian, yeah. An elder, okay, yeah. Confirmation that this communication could come from an elder for a lot of you. Now, again, some of y'all, there's something about the dream space that's very significant. I know the Sun and Neptune just had a conjunction, so maybe you've seen an elder in your dreams. An elder might visit you in your dreams. This could be a passed on loved one. And they have a message for you, or they're trying to communicate something to you. I'm almost seeing somebody coming to you, but they don't have lips, or like something's covering their mouth, so the communication might be non-verbal. Okay. But they're trying to get a message to you, or you might, you know how y'all, for those of y'all that dream, or are active dreamers, you know how you can have a dream of seeing yourself, but like you're witnessing you moving in a particular situation or scenario? It might be you that you see with the mouth covered or no lips or something like that. And that, again, get into your throat chakra, because there could be something that you need to communicate and express that you might be having difficulty doing so, and your subconscious is trying to point that out to you. Okay. Yeah, direction guardian. Okay. Choose your path. One more. Who else is here? And your guardian angel. Yeah, you're not alone. With the Lord, take charge with authority, period. Okay. Okay, so some of y'all are being called to step into some sort of energy that requires bravery and honesty, maybe about what you believe, who you are, what you want, what you desire. Okay, you fill in that blank with whatever this is. Some of y'all, the message is to aim higher, like ask for more, believe in more for yourself, aim for more, go for more. Okay. Whatever this is, whatever this passion, whatever this action or path or communication, it's maybe coming to you because you are currently in a healing process when it comes to your lineage. That could be connected to whomever that elder is, especially if it's a passed on loved one. Something that they suffered from, struggled with, or didn't necessarily master in this particular lifetime. They're coming to you to help you break through that barrier, or untie that knot, I'm hearing, or free yourself. Okay. Maybe from a perspective, from a paradigm, maybe that's that like 3D illusion dissolving that I was channeling, okay? Oh, some of you feel like you don't have options and you do. Okay, that's important for somebody here. And that could be connected to the elder. The elder might have not explored all their options, just kind of settled into life or settled for something. You're being called to not settle for something over the next 7 days. Something about agency. I don't know if you work at an agency, but agency also in the sense of like autonomy. Having a choice, exercising your will. This could also be an elder trying to come in to guide you down a path that you've already chosen. For some of y'all, you've already ignited this fire. Yeah, you've already lit the flame, so you might as well be brave about it. Like it's no turning back now, or like don't get scared now, because it's something's about to happen from that fire. I'm hearing the beauty of fire. Some of you could be very attracted to the fire element. Maybe, hopefully not a pyro, but if that's your case, that's your case. Something about fire is very significant. I know we're in a fire season now, so okay, could just be a general energy we're all under. Some of y'all got to be honest about who you are, what you want. This night energy, that's the communication. Yeah, you got, some of y'all got to say it, like, or speak it. And so it's a throat chakra thing. Okay, for those of you that work through your chakras, get into your throat chakra over the next 7 days, okay? Because maybe something about this path that you've chosen, it's going to require you to have a voice or to be comfortable with expressing yourself, speaking up, saying something. Some of y'all maybe do public speaking, or that might be in your future. The Empress and the World. Come on now. Some of y'all maybe speak online, or maybe you want to start, I guess, a podcast of sorts, or I'm hearing lectures. So some of you might be professors or teachers, philosophers, sharing your philosophy. It's something about planting that energy in the world with this fertility and fruitfulness and the fountain of wisdom. So that seed that you plant, that expression that you give, that communication or that sharing of your energy creates a fountain of wisdom, or has a ripple effect, or pours into other spaces, or grows some sort of fruit that then benefits more than just you or your community. Some of you, okay, it is kind of giving philanthropy a little bit. So if that's what you're into, or maybe you're looking for a way to get into a community or volunteer, you have a particular gift or skill set that your community could benefit from. Okay. And you might be called to start up that program, or start offering classes, or hold meetings, or some sort of group session around something. Yeah, the Hermit. It's like alchemy and transformation. Whatever it is that you have to give, Empress energy, is going to create some sort of transformation. I mean, and to say the world, right, it could be global. That would be wonderful, great, right? But world is in just immediate environment. World is in your community. World is in your own reality. Okay? So maybe that's, again, that zoom in. For some of you, it's very central just to your own vision of the world, your own perception of what's happening around you, which is very individual. We, again, are in Aries season. So it's the I am energy, the self. Others of you, that expands between I am, yes, but I am also a part of a whole that zoom out. Others of you, it's almost like mass consciousness for some of y'all, okay? So place yourself where you are, but that's beautiful. The Empress, the World, and the Hermit. Okay, the Nine of Swords, purification. Some of you could be very worried about a current situation that you're in, stressing out. You might be only stressing because you're not being honest about what you feel or about what's going on with you. Okay? The comforting God. Yeah, it feels like the divine is trying to comfort you in a particular situation where bravery and honesty is an absolute requirement, definitely over the next 7 days, okay? Clarify. The Four of Cups. Healing capacity, right? So something that you need to be brave and honest about has a healing effect, not just for you, but maybe who's on the other end of that communication. Whether that is 1, maybe up to 4 people, because these angels all have their kind of cup up to the sky. So your bravery and honesty pours into others. 6 of Cups. Motivation. Lifts up those who are fallen and humiliated. This could be that philanthropy. Maybe that's something you're very passionate about. Uplifting others, supporting others, healing. Maybe some of y'all are stepping into like a healer archetype here. Or you know you're a healer, but healer in what way? How do you use that healing energy? Maybe that's going to become a lot more clear for y'all over the next 7 days. Especially with fire, motivation, inspiration, speaking to the spirit. So King of Wands kind of an energy for some of y'all. Okay. So what's the higher sight line? What's the higher sight line? Oh, the Queen of Cups. Look at all this water. Redemption. And the Two of Cups. Trust your instincts. God the Redeemer. And fruition. Something you instinctually know or understand or connect with is about to materialize. Yeah, provides expansive intelligence and gives the grace of God. Maybe that is a gift. Some of you have the gift of grace. Helping those who have fallen. Okay, some of y'all, this could be like rehab. And okay, and that can be multifaceted. Maybe there is some of y'all that maybe you want to consider going into some sort of facility if that is relevant to you. Maybe you have someone around you who needs that kind of attention and support. Maybe y'all work at a rehab facility or do some sort of rehabilitation like therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, talk therapy, psychological therapy, whatever it might be, but it's those that have fallen. Redemption for those that have fallen. Two of Cups. Okay, some of y'all might be in a situation, maybe it's within a relationship or a connection, a friendship, a partnership, and it seems like maybe there's that question of, should I give grace? Should I give a second chance? Should I help out in some way? Again, I don't want to give you that answer. Trust your instincts. High Priestess, yeah. Just as I say, I don't want to give you that answer because it feels very unique to a couple different people here. So that could be a yes or a no or a maybe. But High Priestess, you already know the answer to that question. It's just a matter of, oh, and here's the Elder. It's just a matter of standing in that knowing. You know what you need to do. You know how you need to handle something. You know what the right choice and the right decision is for you in your situation, or you between this person or dynamic or whatever the contract or agreement is. You know the right thing to do. It's just, are you going to stick to it? That could be the hard part. Because those have fallen. Okay, somebody maybe has fallen out of grace with you. Fallen out of some sort of grace period with you, or yeah, somebody's fallen. Somebody could be looking for redemption with you. Oh, and especially if it's a Two of Cups, this could be somebody where you share a similar spirit, or it's like a kindred spirit type of an energy. So friend, family, lover. Somebody wants a second chance or to redeem themselves because they have fallen. I think it feels like trust-based though. But they want me to keep saying a fall from grace. Fall from your grace. So you, the viewer, might be the Empress, the World, and the Hermit. So you've been separated from this person, or you haven't been connected to them in a long time, or yeah, it's like you haven't seen each other, or they're like waiting for you to show up or something of the earth, but you've been in your own world, Empress. The World card. Okay. And again, you already know the answer to that question on whether or not you should. Okay. You already know how you need to operate in grace with this person or within this situation. It just might be hard to uphold for some of y'all. It could be very uncomfortable for others of y'all, because it's not your normal pattern, and that's what the elder's stepping in to say. So this elder could have given too many chances, could have had a lack of boundaries. That could be an ancestral or generational thing that you're faced with over the next 7 days. You have the power to break that chain, viewer. So you already know, you already know what you need to do. You already know how you need to handle it. It's just maybe the pressure from this person, or the presence of this person, or their attempt to try to regain some sort of favor with you. Some of y'all, you've been through this cycle with this person so many times, it's like at this point, the only redeeming thing that could happen is like maybe changed behavior, or a change in mindset, a change in communication. So yeah, be brave and honest about what you know is right and best for you, because you might be tempted to do what's right and best for this person, but how you view what's right and best for this person is kind of like maybe appeasing them, or giving them what they want, or kind of surrendering to their request or their needs or their desire, and that might not actually be what's best for this person. I just heard they might need to see the world end between y'all. Ooh-wee. Okay. Choose your path. The Chariot. Wow. Archangel Michael. And Archangel Michael yields a sword that can sever you from the ties that you have, that kind of untangled knot energy I was getting in my meditation. Okay. This could be a cord that's being cut between you and someone, you and an environment, you and a community, you and a belief system, you and a thought process, you and an idea. Okay. Definitely for some of y'all, you and someone. 10 of Wands, you're not alone. God humiliating the proud. Somebody had a lot of pride. Ooh-wee. When it came to you, especially with the Two of Cups already out here, so I could be speaking about a relationship. It could be platonic. It could be romantic. Somebody had a lot of pride in dealing with you. And yeah, like I said, they might have to watch that world end. The world that y'all shared, the world you created, the reality where whatever it is that they maybe want redemption from, or whatever the pattern was, still exists. Maybe it doesn't anymore. Spiritual communication, I cannot make it up. You have a guardian angel trying to talk to you, and it is an elder spirit, okay? Influences religious men, teachers, and men of law. So this could be a male in your life, a male elder, or a masculine energy that you're in this Two of Cups with, okay, regardless of gender. You know the right path to choose. The path you will choose, should you trust your inner high priestess, will lead to perseverance, success in some sort of conflict, and overcoming adversity, the Chariot. And the Sun just slipped out the deck. Restoration of life, protection from adversaries. Purification. Yeah. Whoever's viewing this reading, you're being restored. You're being purified from this Two of Cups. Archangel Michael is coming with that sword to cut it, to sever it, or it's already done. The right hand of God with the Three of Cups. Celebrating your healing capacity, fame and renown for your healing capacity, great discoveries. I almost want to say be brave and trust, but clearly we've said honest, right? So choosing this path requires trust in yourself, and that can be an uphill battle. You okay, Papa? You all right? Okay. Confirmation. Oh, that went right on my chest. Hold on. The Three of Swords. Oh. Love and submission. The quickly forgiving God. Yeah. That for some of y'all could be the ancestral healing that's happening right here. Being a little too quick to... Okay. It's not about being too quick to forgive. It's not setting proper boundaries. It's a beautiful, beautiful attribute to be able to let go of things quickly and not let betrayal or hurt or pain or the actions of others kind of keep you from being you, or not letting that get in the way of love or relationships and kind of going through that struggle. This gives me being devout to a fault. It comes a point in a time where your self-respect has to kick in, where your self-worth, your self-knowledge has to show up in the space, in the situation, in the room. And I feel like that's where maybe your ancestors or your elders, those that came before you, struggled with. So it put them in these patterns, or it kept them from being able to heal in the ways that they needed to. Because you keep inviting or allowing whatever is hurting you in your reality, in your world, or have access to you. So someone's access to you might be cut off here. The quickly forgiving God, the Three of Swords. Yeah, influences paternal love. So this could be healing through the lineage. This could be on your father's side. Confirmation. Okay. Yeah. This could be healing with a father figure, or maybe it is a paternal lineage that is being maybe cut off here. Yeah, Seven of Pentacles. Discernment. General prosperity, the deliverance of prisoners with the Queen of Cups, redemption. You have to discern who is worthy of redemption, who who isn't. Because sometimes you'll keep forgiving and keep forgiving and keep forgiving, but the pattern doesn't shift. The person doesn't change. It gets to a point where they bank on you being able to let it go and get over it so quick, and then just keep moving forward as if everything's okay, or sweeping things under the rug, or acting like things don't exist, or things haven't happened. Or yeah, be mindful of somebody trying to come back and like, let's just leave it all in the past. And it's like they don't really want to have an in-depth conversation around what happened. There's, especially if there's like no apology attached to it, if apology is needed and necessary, like they just want to act like they can just re-enter your world without acknowledging the wrong or the hurt or the pain or the burden, the 10 of Wands that they've created. So the discernment is around who requires redemption, who's worthy of redemption, and who isn't. Okay. The Knight of Swords. Intellectual richness and fruition. Yeah, your mind is in the right space. Like you have the mental capacity, the mental alignment right now to choose in that path, to do the right thing for you. Do what you need to do. Again, some of y'all, it's like self-respect has to show up in the room at some point. You can't keep forgiving. Again, the best apology is always changed behavior, is always change. Don't just say it. Do something different. But somebody has maybe been getting away with just saying it, but they don't really change. So inevitably, the same thing or the same hurt or the pattern will repeat itself. But it's like somebody wants you to still sacrifice yourself for that pattern. And maybe that's what's over. Okay. Or that's what you're healing through, or will be healing through over the next 7 days. Clarify this, High Priestess. 6 of Pentacles. Divine grace, yeah. Cures rage and pestilence, absolves the guilty. Yeah. And maybe for some of y'all, this healing through the lineage is quite the opposite. Maybe it is anger. Maybe it is holding on, not forgiving. Not forgiving and not forgetting. Holding on to it, building the resentment, creating all that tension internally. And then that affects your reality. It affects your ability to live freely. It affects your ability to be open. So closing up. Some of y'all might be healing through that. So, okay, there could be 2 extremes to this. So some of y'all barely have an angry bone in your body. Like it's hard to stay angry. And then that works against you. Others of y'all, you stay angry for way too long. You hold on to it way too long, and then that works against you. So it's about finding that middle ground. And understand that forgiveness in its highest form is just acceptance. It doesn't mean that you have to invite people or revisit situations or allow something to continue. It just means that you're not holding on to it anymore. You let it go. That it doesn't fester so long in your mental space and your heart space that it becomes a part of your identity. It's like the chip on the shoulder. Okay? Sometimes you got to find some dip for that chip and eat it. Emperor. Okay? So yeah, this could be a 2 of Cups dynamic between an Emperor and an Empress, platonic or romantic, okay? Where's the Chariot taking my viewer? The 9 of Wands. Universal medicine, elevation of the soul, and revelation of mystery. So some of y'all have already chosen this path that frees you from the bind or the pattern of whichever extreme you're on. Some of you have already chosen that path, but you're going to see the aftermath of making that choice could become very visible or very intense for you over the next 7 days, especially if it's tied to a person. Somebody mistakenly thought that they would always have access to you no matter what they did, no matter how they treated you, no matter what kind of burden they laid on you. Somebody overestimated their role in your life. Yeah. Ooh. 4 of Swords. Yeah. And it was in the reverse. The Lovers and the Wheel of Fortune as well are cut on. Archangel Haniel and Archangel Raphael. Yeah. Somebody felt like y'all would always, like there would always be another chance with you. So it's like they didn't maybe take you seriously or respect you. They didn't feel like they had to, because you'll always want to stay connected to them, or you'll always be there. And some of y'all are hermited, like not there, not present. Somebody's having to learn that lesson maybe the hard way, by not having access to you. The Lovers, yeah. Somebody definitely overburdened a lover connection, or in the Fool energy for my members. Will and new beginnings, assist with difficulty and great undertakings. This shift is a great undertaking for your soul and your spirit and your consciousness. Be gentle with yourself. Hold compassion for the feelings that you might feel, the anger that might want to show up, the disappointment, the sorrow, the sadness. Sometimes choosing what's right doesn't feel good. That's why you can't base your choices and decisions on what you feel. That's why it's important to have that High Priestess energy intact, your intuition intact, because sometimes you're guided to do the difficult thing. And standing on that decision requires endurance, patience, effort, and you got to be committed to that. In the same way with rehab, you got to be committed to the healing. Okay? Yeah, somebody definitely overburdened a relationship or a connection, again, whether platonic or romantic, that was supposed to be a source of love for you both. A source of community, a source of connection. Somebody exhausted that resource of your Empress energy. And now they're seeing the world fall apart between you two. And that's probably for the highest good of both of y'all, okay? So I hope that brought some clarity and confirmation to whoever needed. As always, I love to hear from y'all in the comments. But let's get you some synchronicities here, okay? Yeah, choices, period. I'm trying to tell you, accountability and manifestation. Somebody manifested this severance of between you two, this end between you two, because of a lack of accountability. Maybe the healing lineage part of all of this is holding people accountable, especially for those of y'all with the forgiving too quickly type of a thing. Forgiving is one thing and accountability is another thing. You can forgive, but if someone's unwilling to take accountability for what happened, then there really can't be anything that grows from it or any movement forward. And that's what someone's used to. I don't have to take accountability with viewer, because they'll forgive and forget within 3 days. You know what I mean? Like some of y'all had like a 3-day window. After 3 days, you don't care anymore. And then you kind of move forward as if nothing happened. And that's the chain that needs to be broken. Because what someone might be operating under is like a little bit giving too much of the benefit of the doubt. Well, they're just this, or you're making excuses almost. But someone has to be accountable for their choices. You can't blame that on anything but the person making the choice, because you ultimately said yes or no or decided something. But someone doesn't want to be held accountable for their choices and decisions when it comes to you, or how they chose to treat you, or how they operated in this lover's energy, the burdens, the 10 wands they laid on your back, or made you carry in all of this. They don't want to acknowledge that. They just want to move forward like it didn't happen. That's what some of y'all got to break, or stand in your self-respect of, no. If you can't operate out of accountability, then you can't have a healthy relationship, period. Mainly with yourself, let alone anybody else. So it's like somebody wanted you to persist in an unhealthy relationship dynamic, whether friend, family, or lover. And your decision to say, nope, not doing that, this ends here, is the instinct that you need to trust. Especially if you haven't made that decision yet. Because you're just going to repeat the manifestation of the 10 of Wands, of the heartbreak, the 3 of Swords. Which means you're also making the choice to manifest that energy in your reality. Yeah. An abundance of self-love is needed and necessary over the next 7 days. Okay. And faith, yeah. Some of you fear what would happen if you hold this person accountable. And for some of y'all, that might come with a little bit of regret once you really start standing in that energy. It's going to be like, damn, I wish I would have did this sooner. But also honor and show compassion to those versions of yourself that was afraid to lose this person, or afraid of what this person might do in retaliation to you holding them accountable. Some of y'all, it was a way for you to hold on to somebody. Some of you, this could be like a father figure, or it's a masculine energy regardless, okay? Grandfather, a brother, okay? Not wanting to let them go, not wanting to lose them, knowing that if you were to hold them accountable for their choices and decisions, they would distance themselves from you. And that pain of them making the choice to distance themselves just because you're asking for accountability is what you were trying to avoid. And that is so very normal and so very natural and very human to do, especially in a familial bond, okay? Especially if there was some sort of maybe trauma that connected you to, or I'm just hearing instant connection. Yeah, so it could definitely be a deep familial bond. But at the end of the day, you have to have faith that operating in your authenticity, which is, again, your self-respect and your high priestess and your awareness of what you're worthy of, and not just because, oh, I'm worthy of the world because I just am. And of course that exists, but because you maybe operate in accountability. So you're worthy of receiving that back in your relationships. If you're the only one holding yourself accountable, that is the 10 of Wands. That's why it's maybe not the 10 of Swords. I carry my part. I do my part. But if the person on the other side of this 2 of Cups isn't doing their part, then you're doing your part and their part to keep the connection going. And I think that's what's been happening. Someone's been banking on you carrying the energy, carrying the load, doing the heavy lifting. So then once it's off the ground, once things are light, they can just kind of skip back on in, circumventing the work and the accountability that's needed and necessary in order, again, for it to be a mutual energy. So if somebody was banking on something remaining one-sided with you, and I feel like that has ended. That reality doesn't exist anymore. And maybe it hasn't existed for a while, but somebody's just kind of coming into the awareness around that. Yeah, some of y'all, this had you making yourself small, or like not operating in an authentic energy. So not saying what you really felt, saying what you know you needed to say in order for this person to stay close to you, or this person to still feel comfortable, or to feel like they were getting redemption from you, or like to feel better about whatever they did to put these 10 wands on your back. You being like, it's okay, it's fine, I understand. No, I don't understand. Like, no. Like, some of y'all got to flip that around. You allow and enable this person to not have accountability because you're so quick to understand. You're so quick to just take it on your shoulders. Let this person carry what they do. Let this person carry their own choices. You aren't responsible for carrying that because you're not making those choices. Yeah, it's a big shift that has to happen or is about to happen. Because again, like I said, you knew that if you were authentically to say, no, that made me mad. No, that upset me. Why would you do that? You start asking questions, this person would shift away from you. So you had to pretend like you were okay with things just to keep the connection. And truth be told, that's not a connection worth keeping at all. You are in truth, if that is how you've been operating, you're the value in that relationship, in that bond, in that connection. But maybe they had you convinced that they were the value worth holding on to. No. They would be if they were to operate in accountability for their choices. They would be. But because they don't, there's no value in that. There's no trust in that. There's no love in that. There's no safety in that. Especially, absolutely no safety in that. And that could have fried somebody's nervous system here. Somebody has to do some nervous system healing. That could have fried your nervous system. Not realizing that this whole time you've been in connection with this person or allowing this bond to persist, you haven't been safe. And your higher self has known that. Your inner child has known that. But the heart, was turning a blind eye. And again, please don't judge yourself for that. It is so very normal, very natural, very human to operate like that, especially when it comes to people that you care for. But at what cost? But it's costing you a lot. It's expensive, energetically expensive for you. So some of y'all gotta rebalance the energetic budget. Okay. Yeah, bonds. I can't make it up. It's a shift in the bond with somebody, or a severing of the bond that you have with someone. That had you maybe felt a little bit more comfortable in being authentic. And again, that's not a judgment towards you, because I totally understand why, right? There's no shame in that. Don't carry shame around the choices that you made to try to maintain some sort of bond with someone. But the moment that you would have stood in that authenticity, would have showed you the truth of this person. And, you deal with it from there. But honestly, this feels like you had to grow in your own wisdom and your own awareness to be able to handle this kind of truth, or to be able to handle this level of severance and not fall backwards. And not undo what Archangel Michael is undoing. Is doing. Yeah. Something's definitely getting undone by the hands of Archangel Michael here. Okay? Yeah, unconditional love. And again, you can forgive. It doesn't mean you have to hate anybody. It doesn't mean that you have to be in tension or in some sort of friction with anyone. It just is. It might more or less be, I gotta love you from afar. Because loving you up close puts burdens on me. Loving you up close puts 3 swords in my heart. So I gotta love you from afar. Because it's not safe to be vulnerable, open, or close to you, because you're gonna put a sword in my heart. You're gonna put it in my back. You're gonna lay a wand on me. And it's not for you to carry. Yeah, some of y'all, by making this choice and decision, by default, this person has to start carrying their accountability. Now they're going to have to be in the 10 of Wands around what they've done, or however they choose to handle you, or whatever has happened here. They're going to have to carry the consequences of their choices. and decisions. And that you can't do for them. So this person maybe thought they were evading having to do that work by being in a bond with you or maintaining this bond or kind of, again, convincing you that that's how this should be. Even if those words were never said, sometimes we can internalize. Like, don't underestimate your insight and perception here, viewer. You knew, maybe even at a young age, depending on this particular relationship, you knew that if you were to stand in what you really felt about what was going on or what happened, this person would have distanced themselves from you, and them making the choice to do that would have hurt more than in your mind at the time than you just carrying the 10 wands. So that built up a lot of spiritual strength for you, but it allowed this person and enabled this person to evade them building that spiritual strength. But that all changes and shifts this week. Okay. So feel free, take a screenshot of these numbers if you want to. 1212, 69, 111, 1010, okay, 427, 55, and 2424 could all be significant. 6 could also be a significant number. 3s could be significant. Okay. All right, but I'm going to leave it there. Okay, don't forget you got this full energy as the overall. This is a whole brand new world and beginning. Okay, and although this might be very difficult to stand in the separation here between you and this person, it's initiating you into unconditional love. And that's something that I think is, for whoever's viewing and resonating with this, very important to your soul structure, or a very important achievement, which you have here at the bottom, in this lifetime for you. All right. Okay, my loves, I'm going to leave it there. I really do hope that this was helpful and brought you some sort of clarity, insight, confirmation, maybe even a little bit of truth that you maybe needed for the next 7 days or whenever you find this message from 7 days out, okay? Remember, time is fluid, or time is an illusion and energy is fluid, okay? If you want your own angel and ancestor message personally for you and what you got going on, you can book that with me at cusproses.store. And like I said, I think by the time this premieres publicly on the channel, there may be 2 days left of the Astro New Year celebration we're doing on the storefront. So 24% off all cusp merch and astrology reading sessions with me, as well as reading bundles, okay? And it's automatically applied at checkout. I'll try to have a link for you guys to shop it through so you can check it out there if you want to. I thank you guys for all that support. I appreciate you. And again, if you want to be a member to watch readings like this on my channel early and ad-free, you can join at the link in the description box or hit that join button underneath this video. And there's other ways that you can sow love into our community by liking, by commenting, subscribing, of course, if you haven't already, as I do pull messages for my subscribers. You can make a one-time donation through my website as well. That link is in the description box, okay? And all those links will be there. So thank y'all. I really do appreciate you for tuning in, and I'll see you in our next one. Have a wonderful week.